All right, I will go ahead and get started. For those who don't know me, my name is Gary Skolnick. I'm the CEO and founder of Neighborhood Sun. And this is going to be a presentation about Neighborhood Sun and the investment opportunity we have through WeFunder. I'll go through the deck and hopefully we'll have time at the end for any Q&A. But anybody who doesn't get a chance to ask a question, you can email me. My email is at the bottom of this slide here, gary.skolnick@neighborhoodsun.solar. So you can email me, we can set up a time to call, or you can just email me your questions afterwards. But when you do have a question, please put it in the chat, and I'll try to get to it after I get through the deck. And with that said, this meeting is also being recorded. So I want to make sure everybody's okay with that. The main reason we are recording it is because we want to be able to share it with many folks who have RSVP'd, but we're not able to join tonight. So there will be a few more people seeing this. And I'm just letting more people in. All right. So Neighborhood Sun is a tech-enabled community solar platform, dramatically expanding solar access. The problem is that 80% of Americans are left behind by the residential rooftop solar market for a variety of reasons. They can't access rooftop solar. That total market is up to 150 million homes and businesses. And the solution is community solar. Neighborhood Sun is the essential link between the asset owners, those are the folks who own the solar projects, and the consumers. So going left to right, we provide subscriber acquisition services for community solar developers. So they build the solar project, we acquire the customers for that project. We then coordinate with the utility to support solar credit allocation to the subscribers' electric bills. And then once that happens, we provide billing and customer management for the lifetime of the project. So in short, what happens is the solar project produces power. The utility assigns solar credits to every customer based on the percentage of the output they have. Customers then see a massive decrease in their electric bill. Neighborhood Sun then bills the customer for those solar credits, but it's always at a discount. So it's one of those products that is a guaranteed savings, and that's part of what makes it so exciting, besides being solar that is available to anybody who pays an electric bill. So in short, customers get a virtual share of a solar project. There I am standing in front of a project in Maryland, and you can see my virtual share. Doesn't mean I own the panels, but I have a share of the output of the project. That output matches my household energy use. And for those who are just joining, I am Gary, Gary Skolnick, Gary pictured here, and I'll be going through this deck, and then at the end, I'll be available for questions. So for Neighborhood Sun, our competitive advantage is our Sun Engine platform. This is a proprietary billing and customer management platform that we built from scratch in 2020. It provides fully customizable software as a service, which allows white labeling, content management, licensing deals. It integrates well with service offerings for customer acquisition. It's completely transparent so that the asset owners, the solar project owners, have a full view into customers and operations. And unlike some of our competitors, It was custom built for community solar, not adapted software. It's full featured, efficient, and lightweight. I always love that, calling the software lightweight. It allows asset owners to choose the level of software and service that they want. So in short, it's fully customizable to whatever the needs of our clients are. We've had a great performance to date, and we are already proving traction. You can see the megawatts under management has grown steadily year after year, and megawatts under management is one of the main ways that companies in the community solar space like us get measured. And our top line revenue grew nicely for a couple of years, and then last year we hit our big inflection point with 257% growth year over year to 4.9 million. This year we're projecting between 7.5 and 9.1 million, depending on when some projects come online or if they get delayed. But it's continuous growth. So our revenue model is a combination of upfront revenue plus recurring revenue at high margins. So the upfront revenue is we get paid to acquire a customer. That's one-time payment. The recurring revenue is when we do the ongoing customer management, which is billing and customer inquiries and utility coordination. So the total lifetime value of a customer is over $1,100. And it costs us about $318 to acquire or serve that customer, which is a 71% gross margin. Our ratio of lifetime value to customer acquisition cost is 3.8, which is considered very good. We also mitigate some of the risks by baking into the contract additional upfront payment when customers churn. So if a customer leaves the project and we have to replace them, we do get paid again. So that takes away some of our risk. So in our continuing track record of success, we are pretty dominant in our home state of Maryland, where we were founded. We have a 30% market share. We're also pretty strong in Colorado at 29%. Since the inception of SunEngine, we have processed $41 million worth of bills to 25 that we currently have 25,000 solar subscribers. We work on 134 different solar projects with 14 solar partners. The partners are the developers or the solar asset owner. Now, our current national market share is about 4%. So it shows you there's a lot of room for growth. If we can duplicate what we've done in Maryland and Colorado to other states, or even come close to that, that spells extreme growth for us. And this market is expected to double in size in just the next 3 years. It's a $2 billion total addressable market for the kind of community solar company that we are. So again, we're not the company that builds the projects, but we are the essential ingredient that connects the project owner to the consumer. And that's a $2 billion market. So new target states for us include the West Coast, New Mexico, Illinois is a big one, and several other states that we want to expand into. We've got a strong executive team. Our Chief Revenue Officer is Cara Humphrey. She oversees our acquisition strategy across all markets. She's a veteran solar entrepreneur, co-founded Astral Power, a company that we merged with. And she's also highly experienced in community organizing for clean energy. I'm the founder and CEO. I've been a clean energy leader with 25 years in the industry. I sold one of my prior companies to Solar City. And then John Wilson is our Chief Technology Officer. He is the architect and manager of SunEngine. So he's the brains behind our platform, uh, which of course we say revolutionized community solar customer acquisition and management. John is a seasoned technology leader with over 2 decades of experience in the energy sector. So he's worked in clean energy and in software development for 2 decades. Prior to that, he was in the financial services industry. Look at the impact our customers are having already. Just because they are signing up for community solar and saving money, projects that we manage have produced over $548 million. Yeah, that's half a billion kilowatt hours as of January 2024. And 435 million pounds of coal were not extracted and burned due to solar power used by our customers. That's one of the things we're most proud of. The other thing that is central to our mission that we're extremely proud of is that we have been helping the low and moderate income residents get access to solar energy. In fact, one of our taglines is solar for everyone, not just a select few. And we stand behind that. We have over 5,000 customers or residents who are low and moderate income. They save an average of $76 on their energy costs each year. And in total, they save close to $387,000 just in 2023. So for these communities, for these residents, these families, it's not just about saving money, although that's extremely important. It's also about switching out coal plants that are traditionally placed in areas near these communities with clean energy solar plants. So it's an environmental justice and energy equity issue as well. So the future, we believe customer aggregation with other recurring revenue streams. We currently do community solar, as I've been talking about. We also do software as a service in the community solar space. We just signed our first contract with one of the largest solar developers who is licensing our software. In the future, we'd like to do things like virtual power plants, which are connected to battery storage at households, residential rooftop solar, energy efficiency, basically anything that relates to electricity or sustainability at the home. We see a lot of opportunities for additional revenue through other services and products to our customer base once we have a large enough customer base, and we're getting close. The other part of the future in community solar is that market consolidation is already starting. And Neighborhood Sun is poised to play a major role in this. We have an advanced technology platform, a highly experienced management team, strong direct sales and customer management, a growing customer base and a project pipeline, and an authentic green brand. One of the things I didn't mention due to time constraints is that we are a certified B Corp with a score that we are extremely proud of because of all the work we put into walking the walk, being the kind of company that is transparent, that works with our community, works with our employees, and treads lightly on the planet Earth. Some of the other players in the market, Arcadia, they're the big guys, but they have an expansive business model that includes a lot more than community solar. And there's some of the other companies that have platforms that we believe have less functionality than SunEngine, like Ampion and Power Market, Perch, and Common Energy. And then there are vertically integrated developers and customer acquisition and management companies like Nexamp and Pivot. Those guys build their projects and they do the acquisition and management of those projects. We have raised about $7 million to date since 2017. It's through angel investors, where we have 47 angel investors who are all local to our headquarters in Silver Spring, Maryland. So all in the DMV area. We have 3 institutional investors, including TEDCO and MTech, which are Maryland agencies that invest in leading Maryland startups that are actually working to improve the environment, help the Chesapeake Bay fight climate change. And we've had 2 regulation crowdfunding campaigns on WeFunder that have both been extremely successful. And between the 2 of those, we raised about $2 million. We have a very strong and engaged board, including Bill Bumpers, our board chair, who is a energy law thought leader. He started a lot of the energy law business 30 years ago. Wilson Chang, who's a solar entrepreneur. Kim Colt, an impact and sustainability investor. And then JP Mascarella is an observer, but he's also been a real partner to me in working on our fundraising and strategic issues. So financial projections, the main thing to look at is our customer management fees on the second row there. That's the recurring revenue, and that's the most important piece of how we get valued. So we did about 900,000 last year. This year we're looking at close to 1.7 million, and it continues to grow. I'll also note that if you look down, our payroll is actually lower this year than it was last year. We did tighten our belts, and we have increased our efficiency and our productivity quite a bit. And I want to thank every member of our team, some of whom are on this call, for making that possible. We basically are managing double the amount of solar with less people. So last year we lost 1.6 million, which was a 33% loss. That's actually lower than it's been ever before. And this year we're expecting a loss of just 200,000. Although I can't guarantee that, because some projects get delayed sometimes. So it could be 2 to, let's say, 500,000, which would still be a lot less. And you can see that we have a path to profitability here. 2025 is when we finally turn the corner, and our net income is over $1 million. And by the time it grows out to 2028, we have $4.5 million of net income and $25 million of gross income. People often wonder about exits. Okay, I invest, and then how am I going to get my money back and make a return? Well, there are several. We could be acquired by a large solar developer, asset owner. So if there are other solar developers who want to do that vertical play, like Pivot and Nexamp have done, they could acquire Neighborhood Sun. There could be a strategic acquisition by utilities or other energy companies. We could merge with other community solar companies and kind of, in that consolidation play. We could do a Reg A+ offering, which is a mini IPO. It's not quite an IPO, but it's more than a crowdfunding campaign. And then finally, we could do an IPO or a SPAC if our growth comes to that. So we are seeking to do $1 to $3 million this round, and we want to use that money to support our geographic and business line expansion. Like I said, we want to go into other states, and we talked about some other business lines we're looking at. Accelerate our growth by more investment into our SunEngine software. We've made a lot of progress, but there's more we want to do, including integrating AI into SunEngine, which will allow us to continue expanding without us concurrent increase in our labor costs, and also better target for acquisition by analyzing the data of the customers we have to see who are the ideal customer types. And then we do want to round out our senior management. There are a couple positions we would still like to fill. So it's your chance to be a part of this exciting opportunity. I looked at the roster of people who are on this call, and some of you have already invested, and thank you very much for that. Community solar is the fastest growing solar market in the US. Neighborhood Sun has a demonstrated track record of success and growth. Our SunEngine platform gives us a competitive advantage. We have an experienced management team plus a strong board and investor base. And there's a lot of exit opportunities from a market that is consolidating. And you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. And again, if you have questions that we don't have time to get to tonight, my email is here, gary.skolnick@neighborhoodsun.solar. And that's my phone number. It's also, it's my mobile. And with that, I will open this up to questions. So let me get out of presenter mode. Okay.
We've got a couple questions in the chat, Gary.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, do you want me to read them out loud or you got it?
No, I got it. I can see it here. So please
Okay.
explain why customers don't get clean energy credits when identifying their subscription in Maryland's quote Building Energy Performance Standards worksheet. Okay, that's definitely a little in the weeds. I'm not sure. I think what you're talking about is the environmental benefits, the like the renewable energy credits or carbon credits that you would typically get from buying solar power, because they're not included in what you're getting. You are subscribing to a solar project that otherwise would not have been built but for the subscribers, and the environmental credits go to the owner of the projects, and that's part of how they are able to offer you discounts. Oh, someone asked me to stop screen sharing. Okay, I will do that. All right, another question. Will you send the recording out to the attendees? Yes, we'll send it to everyone, including the attendees and people who RSVP. Next question, is there a plan to integrate batteries with community solar? Yes. There are many developers who are starting to put batteries with their community solar projects. In fact, one of the ones, unfortunately, it fell through, but we have a project in Montgomery County in Maryland on a horse farm, and they have wanted to put battery storage as part of the project. It didn't quite work out, but it just goes to show you the interest is there. The new developments we are seeing often include battery storage. Another question, $76 average annual savings. That means their energy cost for the year is $760. Not necessarily. For low and moderate income customers, they typically get a 20 to 25% savings. So it's actually more than that. But it means their energy costs might be lower than that. And that's true. A lot of low-income people, we can't cover 100% of their bill because of the way energy assistance programs work. We don't want to give them too many credits, so we only give them enough credits to cover half their bill because the assistance covers the other half. And then, you know, in general, they're using a lot less electricity than your typical household. Another question, can you send us any SunEngine marketing literature you have? Yes, we will make a note of that. We do have a little website just for SunEngine, and I'll send you the link, and we have a little brochure. All right, how does investing actually work? How would I invest? What could I expect in return? We do have a little video, and maybe Stephanie, you can find the link for that. But it's you go to wefunder.com, and maybe I'll put this in the chat. Go to wefunder.com/neighborhoodson. And that tells you, it shows you our story, gives you a lot more information. It gives the legal disclosures and the risks. And then it allows you to invest. The smallest investment is $250. You could do more than that as well. We've had several $5,000 investors and many $1,000 investors. And what could I expect in return? I can't tell you what the return is going to be. I'm not Bernie Madoff who can guarantee specific returns. So, all I could tell you is that me and my team are going to work extremely hard to continue growing this company to get it to the point where we will have an exit. And we're all very interested in getting to that point, not just for you guys, but also for the angel investors, for Pedco and MTech, for everyone who took a chance on Neighborhood Son. I can't say what the exact return will be, but we're hopeful that you guys will all earn something plus, get your money back plus. So it's like investing in any stock. If you buy Apple stock right now, do you know how much it's going to go up or down? You don't know. All you know is that you believe in the company, you believe in the management, you believe in the industry they're in. And that's what I'm asking you guys to believe in as well. Next question is, what is your assessment of how the 2024 fall elections might impact the community solar industry? And what are you doing to mitigate any adverse impact and promote positive changes? It's interesting because we started really in 2018 is when we got going. So that was during the Trump administration. And as many people know, Trump put very high tariffs on panels from China and other places. But President Biden has actually increased those tariffs. So the good part, though, is what President Biden has done is he's also passed the IRA, the Inflation Reduction Act, which provides a lot of financing to solar projects, including community solar projects. I mean, billions of dollars to build, to not just help projects get built, but also to build factories in the US to produce the solar panels. So even if Trump is elected, we don't expect much difference on the tariffs. He and Biden seem to be about the same there. We don't think they'll be able to defund the money that's already been put out through the IRA. And, most of what determines the success of community solar happens on the state level, actually. So if a state has good regulations, then we're going to have a good community solar program. And community solar is a lot less dependent on the kind of tax credits than residential rooftop solar is. So I'm not very worried about that, just from the solar perspective. Other perspectives, different story. But from the solar perspective, either way it goes, I think we're going to be okay. I've been doing this for 25 years. We've had presidents who have been very supportive, presidents who have been very anti, and somehow the solar industry manages to survive and grow all the time. Next from Andrea, I recently installed an electric heat pump for heat and electricity, and I plan to switch to an electric stove and electric water heater. That's awesome. As a result, I will be using more electricity and less gas. Is there a way for me to increase my share? Absolutely. That's one of the benefits as well. If you use more electricity, we can increase your share. If you use less, we can decrease your share. Best way to do it is, I would say, just contact me, and I'll make sure to get you in touch with the right person at our customer development team, so we could get your share size increased.
Gary, we've got Arlen who wants to ask a question verbally. Is that all right?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, Arlen. Arlen, are you on or are you muted? All right, well, when you unmute Arlen, we can have you ask your question. In the meantime, Michael asks, is there an ownership percentage associated with investing? Not particularly. I mean, the answer is yes, but not anything, I guess, material, unless you invest, $100,000, something of that sort. If you're investing $250, $1,000, $5,000, that does translate into a percentage, but it's it's less than 1%. I couldn't give you those kinds of numbers. Charles asks about the expansion to California. How do the new rules in California negatively impact this growth, with home solar installs so negatively impacted? So what Charles is referring to is net energy metering 3.0, I think it's called, which has severely hampered the rooftop industry in California. Community solar is very different. So in California, they did pass a bill to expand the program and make it a much more robust program. It is going through the regulatory process now. The utilities are lobbying hard to make the program less beneficial to people. And the solar industry is lobbying just as hard to make it more beneficial. So the results are not in yet. We might have some hiccups along the way, but I think in the long term, it's going to happen the way the solar industry wants it. Because the difference with community solar versus rooftop is it's not just the solar guys advocating for solar. It's a much broader coalition. It's social justice, and economic justice, civil organizations, it's labor unions, it's farmers. I mean, there's a whole range of people who are very interested in seeing community solar happen. A lot of great questions, guys. Thank you so much. Arlen, I guess I'm not sure if you're still on or what the story is, but you're welcome to chime in. Oh, okay. It says I can't unmute. So I'm interested in is building solar on built environment, not in forests. So there are several places you could build community solar projects. Starting with, I guess, what I would say is the worst, which is useful farmland or good open spaces. That would be the least desirable place. Then you could also do it on rooftops of large warehouses. We have several projects in Maryland that are on these massive warehouses, and they can support hundreds of families participating. Brownfields are another good place to build. So landfills and other sites where you can't otherwise do anything with the land, or places like this horse farm that we have a project on. It has the soil there is so bad they can't do anything else with it. So we're allowed to build a solar plant there. Finally, we have a potential project in upstate New York in a town that wants to build a project on top of their reservoir. So floating solar panels, which would be really cool if that happens. And we have another project we won an RFP to do in New Orleans, which would build it on the grounds of a school. So not on the roof of the school, but on the actual grounds. So a lot of different places. And yeah, so we don't want to build on good soil. There probably are some projects that we're part of that have built on good soil, but in general, I think the solar industry has heard the message loud and clear to try to find other places to build solar projects. I should also mention, because this always comes up, parking lots. Parking lots are a great place to build. It is more expensive though, so it hasn't happened quite as much as we'd like to see. Robert asked, is this early investing mechanism exposed to increases of the total number of shares outstanding, thereby diluting existing shareholders? So the early investing is the early bird special that I think Robert's referring to, which the vehicle we have for investing right now is called a SAFE, a simple agreement for future equity. And the way that works is it's a discount on the future round that we do. So whatever our next priced round is, the SAFE will convert into stock at a discount to that round. We are offering a discount of 15%, but for early birds, we're offering a discount of 30%. So it's a really good deal. There's only it's for the first $200,000 worth of investors, and we're at about 135,000 right now. It does, any new round of investment dilutes the existing shareholders, whether it's a 30% discount, a 15% discount, a new round, whatever. It's always dilutive, but it's not dilutive in a very meaningful way. If we raise $1 million, let's say in total, the dilution is minimal. You know, as opposed to some of these companies who go out and get VC funding and they raise 10, $20 million, then the dilution is massive. And the other issue there is that the VCs typically want preferred shares. So the people with the common shares are also have less rights. But, you know, I mean, that's definitely a way for people to go as well. So yeah, it is dilutive, but not by much at all. Michael asks, is there much NIMBY opposition to development of solar farms? NIMBY, of course, standing for Not My Backyard. I've worked in the wind industry and I've worked in the solar industry, and the difference is night and day. However, having said that, night and day meaning in wind, there's massive NIMBY. In solar, is a lot less so. However, having said that, there are places where people don't want solar projects built. This is a project, there's one project I remember in upstate New York. It's not a community solar project. This was from a previous job I had, where they were building it on an unused plot of land. I don't remember if it was a landfill or not, but people had gotten used to like walking their pets, their dogs mainly, on this land. Even though they wouldn't see the solar panels from their houses because it was going to have a bunch of trees around it, they still were very much against it because they wanted to keep having a place to take walks and go with their pets. And so that happened. So there is opposition, but it's a lot less so, and especially if you have a solar project on a rooftop or a landfill, parking lot, brownfield, then there's no opposition. All right, Michael, a different Michael is asking, so if we invested 2 to 3 years ago when the first WeFunder round was offered, is the current discount offer identical to the first round? We did a convertible note. No, I'm sorry. The first round we did was a safe. Then we did a convertible note in the second round. So this is a safe again. So it's similar to the first round. The discount is similar, except the early bird discount of 30% is a better discount. Al Bartlett, I haven't talked to you in a while, asks, back to the investment question. If one isn't buying shares that can also be sold, what is the basis of return on investment? Would it only be realized at some endpoint reached by the corporation itself, like a sale, or is there some intermediate return, analogous to profit sharing or a dividend? Yeah, so when you invest in a private company that is not listed on a stock exchange, the shares of that company are called illiquid, right? There's no market for you to buy or sell those shares. And the only way you get your return is when we have an exit event, like selling the company, merging, doing an IPO, or the Regulation A plus investment round. We don't have profit sharing or dividends, but yeah. So it's really more like just you get your return when the company has success and is able to sell, and hopefully at a much higher multiple than what you bought in it. And then another Michael, it's interesting, 3 out of the 4 questioners, the last 4 have been Michaels. Will you describe the highest paid officers, employees, total comp? Well, I can't disclose the highest paid employees comp because it's not me. And, that person has privacy rights. So I can't tell you what their salary is. But I can tell you that my salary is about 3.5 times the salary of the lowest paid person at the company. And I have taken pay deferments and pay cuts as needed to keep the company healthy. Robert asked the $1 million question, could we lose our investment? Yes, you can. This is meant to be for investment that you are willing to lose. We do not want you to invest money that you are counting on to pay for your child's college or medical bills. Please do not invest that money. We're only asking you to invest if you have capital that if you lost it, it wouldn't change your lifestyle at all. Because we are an early stage company. We're not a startup anymore. We have almost $5 million in revenue, but it's a risk. It's a risk, just like the people who invested in, I don't know, there's several, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but several public companies that crashed and people lost almost all their money. So that can happen. We hope it doesn't. I would be devastated if it does. I put my heart and soul into this company, and I'm going to make sure that it doesn't, but I can't guarantee that. All right, I think I've just about worn you guys out. Any other questions? We still got about 10 minutes or so.
Hey, I just have a quick PSA, Gary, which is you really have put your heart and soul into this and prior ventures that demonstrate your commitment to all this. And they don't all work out, but you keep after it, and I appreciate that personally.
Well, thank you, Michael. Thanks. Appreciate that. All right. Well, you know where to reach me, gary.skolnick@neighborhoodsun.solar. And I will share, hopefully I'll be able to see this some of these questions later, because I know someone was asking about sharing the Sun Engine brochure. And we will make this recording available for everyone to review, not just you guys, but everyone who RSVP'd. And again, the website is wefunder.com/neighborhoodsun. I hope you will consider investing. I appreciate all of you guys for giving your time to me tonight to explain what we're all about and to talk about Neighborhood Sun and frankly, the team at Neighborhood Sun, which is what makes us a special company. So thank you and good night, folks.